What is going on, guys? It's Shu here. Apologies, first and foremost, for not getting to this review a week ago. But let's be honest, Fire Force is going to be a series that many of us who watched it is going to be it's going to be ingrained in our memory. Um, it's just been really a great show, a great way to tie in another established universe, or better yet, a series, and being the prequel and establishing everything. A bit rushed, I will say, but it makes sense. And I'm okay with that. But I'll give my final thoughts in the last couple minutes of this review because honestly, there's a lot to talk about. So let's get to it. So we go back to Shinra Bancho Man, and he is super strong. Like, that's no doubt. And obviously, with now the fusion between the Evangelist and Hamea being together, it's still not enough, you know? And for, let's just call her Hamea, you know, for her, she feels like things are just going to repeat itself. It's just going to continue. The cycle is not going to stop. And so Shinra is basically saying, no, we have to live life. We have to be able to do it. And, you know, you got to do it. And I actually like it. You know, Arthur in the last episode brought Shinra back to his senses, and he locked him in. And I appreciate Arthur for doing that. But here on out, Shinra is the hero. And he actually kind of realizes, you know, that he has to do more. So what does he do? He pushes Hamea into the light, brings in Charon, and Charon basically says that I want to see you smile. I want to be able to see you again. And, you know, everyone's back, you know, and this, of course, for Hamea is a dirty trick. Her giving the signature cute face was nice. We separate Hamea from the despair, which, of course, Shinra then destroys and puts it away, essentially, and then creates death, the Grim Reaper, essentially. And we see that it's a very early on Grim Reaper. Not the same that we had seen in Soul Eater, and that's okay, but it learns and it disappears. And we see that before it goes away, we also see that the remaining members like Inca, Sister Iris, obviously Amaterasu, and the other one who I can't remember, but she did a great job. They all have to make their decision. And Inca and Iris were the only ones to return. The other two choose to move on, to pass on. And this happens. And we see that everyone, you know, gets a second chance at life. You know, even romances are brewing. And life is different now. Everything is different. And it's kind of fun to watch, you know, like the Soul Eater universe. We even see, you know, some of the characters from Soul Eater in the show, which is kind of great. We see the creation of Death the Kid. We see Maka. We see Soul. You know, we see Black Star. You know, all these characters. The music as well. Just overall, all these little moments. And of course, Inca. Now, I'm going to address that really quickly. Inca was thirsty for a boy. Not really because of his appearance, but because she wanted the seed. She wanted to be able to say, I gave birth to the child of the man that saved the world. Now, that's a strange desire. The fact that he was able to fulfill that desire a few years later and let Hibana slip away is beyond me. But Shinra basically was an adventurer for a while, along with Arthur and everyone else, and it was cool. And then, of course, he becomes a supreme leader, which, again, I think it was really cool. Like, the way it ends is a good feel kind of ending, and I'm very happy with. Sure, Shinra is the hero. He probably deserves more women, but hey, he got Iris. and ink was an added bonus. I guess persistence sometimes works. So it was a great story, and I think, at least for my wrapping up here, I think that Fire Force is just a phenomenal story. It really is something very unique, from the sounds, from the story, the characters, though maybe not so unique, but different characters that, and somehow or another, were able to connect, and it was a good story. I think this was quite a journey, quite the concept to have people be kind of like from the fire, essentially, to be, having double gangers and all that. It's an interesting concept. And of course, with that as well, with this new world, that ability is gone. So it is nice. It's basically a reset of things and just changing things over. And I've enjoyed it for these many years that I've watched and reviewed it. It's sad to see it go, but people clamor that they want a remake of Soul Eater, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't want it. I think that would ruin what is already established. I love the original animation, great story, very good story, and I don't want it to be jeopardized. We've already had stories where they keep bringing them back, and just write original stories. That would be great. If the if the author or the mangaka, whatever you want to call it, is able to, brew some ideas after Soul Eater, by all means, do it. I'd be down for it. But until then, we will see where it goes. But that is it for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, make sure to like. Apologies, take care, and I'll catch you all later.